So here are two finished tops on here. These are much better. He said the shape of these is, I wanted it to be a little bit rounder, but I guess I was having trouble. It's a little bit, I don't know, not as round as I thought it was going to be. So I probably needed to do some more increases, further down here to make, or decreases, excuse me, to have it there. But I'm going to pick up the thumbs next because we're still figuring out what we can do with this red. This is all that's left. So I actually had a little left over, which is fun. I put both of the provisional cast on, bits into this second one. And because the thumb gussets on one, on both of them one of them is so much longer than the other one, they actually end at different points in the pattern. So the red and it's just a funny, they're like an inverse of each other up here because it's one stripe off. It's one stripe longer there, but that's okay. We're just going to have some longer cuffs down at the bottom, I guess. And I think I actually will do one cuff longer than the other one. So even though so it'll just be this part that kind of is longer. They'll actually feel similar when on. So that would be good. But I'm just going to literally just split this in half and cut it and see how that works for the thumb to see if that makes it long enough. My son is in bed, so I can't really measure these on his hand, but I do know his fingers are just a little bit shorter than mine. So if I measure it to mine, then it should be able to like bend and do all of that and be fine. So I'm going to do that. I don't know if I can do this full 1 by 1 all the way to the end, but if I can't, my plan is that I will just, instead of it being, every other, then we'll kind of have 3 in between and have 1 of that and kind of peter it out as it goes up. So we're getting to less and less of this. It's getting smaller. You can kind of see through it now, which is great, but I'm not worried about not having enough of this at this point. I think this will be just fine. We'll use as much of this as we possibly can. This project is pretty great. I am watching the show on Dropout. The Make Some Noise show. I'm just really enjoying it very much. It's very funny. And so I'm going to watch a couple episodes of that since everyone is in bed and see if I can get the thumbs done, then I feel like getting the cuffs done is not going to be that big of a deal. I'm not sure if I have it in me to get all of it done, but we shall see. We shall see. Because the goal for tomorrow is going to be to get as far on the birthday socks as I can, because I am going to need to switch over to Christmas socks for the same son soon. So these birthday socks are, it's very long. Down here where, let's say we're at 120, maybe 130 rows. So even just doing the toe on this part and putting the heel in, I measured her foot today to make sure that I had an accurate measurement because I don't think I've measured it in a long time. So it is an 8-inch length foot. So I'm going to put on the toe, measure to 6 inches, because I, for some reason, remember that, the 2-inch mark being a good level of negative ease for that. But I am also going to do those few rounds of stockinette in the afterthought heel, like my friend Mandy taught me, so that there's plenty of room in the instep for that. And I think that lengthens it just a tad also. So that'll be good. That is the plan. So I'm going to switch to these tomorrow at some point once I finish the gloves. I realized that every year I'm making a pair of gloves for either myself or a child or both. And honestly, when I did both last year, that meant that this year, when we had lost a pair of gloves or someone had outgrown a pair of gloves and everything just kind of went down the line, that meant that the gloves I had made for myself, which were just really basic mittens, and I like them, but I'm not like emotionally attached to them or anything. It was really easy to make sure all of them had mittens, so that they just borrowed mine. And I'm realizing how just how profitable it is for my family to have just like extra socks, extra mittens, extra hats. We have always had extra hats, and that's fantastic. I'm realizing at this point I might actually even need to make some more hats because we're growing some of the smaller hats we've grown out of and have gifted those to cousins and things. But yeah, I think just the winter accessory revamp every year is it's just always going to happen. So if I make myself another pair of mittens this year, it'll probably serve the same purpose as they did this year. I just won't be stressed out about making things for all the kids, which I was a little bit last year. I made a few pairs of mittens, and then I made a pair of mittens for myself because I was just like, you know what, I only had like these fingerless mitts that I had made, so I probably will make myself another pair of mittens, even though with the completion of these, that means I'll get my green ones back. I think. Yeah. Actually, I don't know. There is one lost mitten, and I like that one. But if we can't find it, I might need to make another pair also. So maybe this is another 3 mitten making winter. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to clean out the van myself and see if it's in there. I'd asked the kids to clean it out last week at some point, and they said they couldn't find it in there. So we'll see. It always requires a van clean out and a laundry room clean out for me to officially declare something lost. So we all have to do that. The finished mittens. You can see this on the top all lines up and the thumbs line up, but that thumb gusset is so much longer, so they are long. It is going to be longer down here. But I did show that to him, and he said he does not care. He likes them anyway. So yay. They're a tiny bit long on his hand and his thumb, but I'm okay with that. So like his thumb goes here. His hand's almost the same length as mine, so I would say my hand might be just a tad bit longer, but his thumb's about there. So I asked him if he wanted me to pull them back, and he said no. He said he wanted them a little bit big to grow into for next year too. So there's that. And then we've got a toe on a sock. Tomorrow is her birthday, so I did not make it in time, obviously, but this is where I'm going to put the heel. I measured it already, so I've got like a 35 round leg. Gonna do the heel. Obviously this whole foot part is done, so let me grab the other one and show you how far I am on that one. So I was knitting it as like a whole tube, so this is where this was connected, like this. It was a whole tube there, and so I pulled this off, and I've got 50 rounds already, so I need to do 50 more, and then I will be able to do the ribbing on this side here. And I might put the toe on before I even do the ribbing I think that'll make more sense, so I won't have this thing just like messing with me the whole time. I am going to work on these pretty much all day tomorrow, because if I can get them done by the end of her birthday, then how fun would that be? But, you know, no pressure. I have a few other things to work on. I want to get some scrunchies done for one of the, bear with me with this noise in here, it's just the heater, so I'm going to let it stay on. I actually might move it to my room, I don't know. But I have a couple of scrunchies that I want to do for one of the gifts that I am putting together. And I might do more of them later, but the gift exchange for my husband's side of the family is in just a few days. And I think if I can finish the birthday socks tomorrow and get started on one of the scrunchies, I'd like to do 2 or 3. They don't take very long to do. It's really simple, but it's not, you know, it does take a little bit of time. So we shall see. We'll see if I get that done in a timely manner. If I don't get them done, that's not the end of the world, but I really would like to add them there. And then after that, everything is just like Christmas Eve and Christmas for deadlines. So I think I will switch to just the whole sock thing that I've got going for my parents and my oldest son. The socks for my son are like half a cuff, like I've barely started those. But I think because I'm just doing vanilla socks, I usually, for birthday socks, I usually do some type of special thing on them. So I am going to ask her if she wants like a ruffle on the socks. She often likes ruffles on the socks. I didn't do anything special this time because she just said that's what she wanted. She just wanted this stripy yarn. So usually I do some type of pattern or something with it, and but she did not mention anything that she wanted for that. So anyway, but with Christmas socks, I normally just do a stockinette sock, and it's great. So for my son this past year for his birthday, he also just wanted a pair of stockinette socks. So if that's what they ask for, that's what I'll do. But yeah, anyway, it is past midnight. I need to put out birthday decorations so that she can wake up to those, and then I need to get in bed so that I will be not just pleasant on the outside tomorrow.